Alright guys, hope you're all doing great. Today we got so much information on seasons and the endgame coming with Warlords of New York, including the return of Strikers gear set, Strikers Battlegear from The Division, which is a fan favourite gear set from the original. There's so much here, I'm just going to get straight into it. This could be a very long one, so just get comfortable and let's begin. Alright guys, so as usual, I've got a long list of bullet points for this recap video. I'm going to go through them, offering my opinion when I think it's necessary. This is going to be one take, hopefully, so let's go. We had Hamish, Yannick and Trick Dempsey for today's State of the Game. We start off with the priority alerts. Maintenance yesterday, which changed the level 30 boost exploit. I actually covered this in yesterday's video. Essentially, you could exploit the level 30 boost, giving you like unlimited materials and all that sort of stuff. They wanted to confirm that you can still boost your character to level 30 an unlimited amount of times with the expansion, but you will only get the extra materials caches on like once per account. There's a free weekend coming for the game this weekend. It actually starts tomorrow, Thursday the 27th. You can now preload this as well, I believe, as of today. And anyone who plays from tomorrow until Sunday gets a free mask if you log in. So that's anyone. That's not just people who preload the game and are taking part in this free weekend. That's for anyone. So if you want a free mask, log in from tomorrow. They confirm there's no launch time for Warlords yet, which comes out on March 13th. This will be communicated shortly in forums, social media, that sort of stuff. And they talked about preloading the expansion. They said this likely won't happen, but they kind of went on to say that this might happen during maintenance. It's not been confirmed, but it's unlikely to happen, it appears. The issues with clans, where people are showing offline when they're not, they're hoping to get this fixed with the update on next Tuesday. The Refer a Friend program is still being worked on, the issues where people are not getting the stuff, the gear, that's still being worked on. And NPCs still getting stuck as well, has been reopened for investigation. There was a fix for it, but there appears to be some outliers which they're going to hopefully get fixed as well. Now moving on, they wanted to talk about what the intention for the kind of new end game is for players with the expansion. So this is where Trick said you go into level 40 gear, there's lots of activities, bounties, projects, target intel is going to be removed so that for bounties you can just essentially play bounties. You don't have to, you're not trying to juggle trying to get intel, and when you consider how much stuff is actually going to be coming, which I'll get into, that's probably a good idea. We've got the seasonal manhunt, and there's always this chase to get better and better gear to do harder and harder activities. With seasons, there's this periodic injection of new gear to supplement that. And with the end game, you'll get both Washington D.C. and New York, and D.C. will be set to level 40 if you're at level 40. They went on to talk about legendaries. There was a complaint in the Division about how only legendary activities gave you the best gear, but that isn't the case here, which is true, as every activity you play can grant you the best gear. Of course, harder content just gives you a higher chance of better quality gear. The best gear is not gated behind the highest difficulty, so that's obviously really good news. They then talked about the frequency of drops for the new gear, and apparently it's been tailored with this new update. I think before they said that the drop rate has been reduced, however the quality of those drops has been increased, so expect that with the update. They then moved on to the PowerPoint, and we love ourselves a good PowerPoint. So what you're going to see here is the first week of a new kind of manhunt, or how a season is going to look essentially. So the first week you got a new manhunt, 1 week later you got a new league, which you can see is the West Side League there on the left. Then we have the Polarity Switch global event a week later, followed by a new manhunt, and it repeats itself with different activities and all that sort of stuff. There is going to be, a story and a narrative to these seasons. There's going to be a reason you are doing what you are doing, or why you're being asked to do certain things. That's why this image has been redacted. They didn't want to give you, tell you who the manhunts were or what they were all about for that reason. Of course, the story is about new targets to hunt. It is a calendar of activities with weekly changes to the game to kind of keep it fresh. Then they moved on to an image of kind of the new manhunt, which comes available 1 week after Warlord drops. You will get a briefing of the targets, and it will come at the same time as the season becomes active. You will learn about each target and kind of the relationship with the main target and between each other in some occasions. And this will layer on top of invasion. So as you can see, you're going to be asked to go and do certain, or go and complete certain missions, but this will be on top of invasions. The actual mission doesn't care whether it's an invasion or not, it still counts towards that manhunt. Once you get to the center target, they're going to be using a unique skill variant, and you will get that once you defeat them. It's going to be nowhere else. You won't be able to get this anywhere else apart from doing this. The location will be rescripted and themed around that target and the skill that they have. They then went on to say that once you reset your global difficulty, it will reset the Manhunt. You can essentially play through the Manhunt and the components of that particular Manhunt on Heroic with 5 directives if you really want to. The devs did say, however, you will finally be able to have a way to get the skill variants I mentioned before with each Manhunt. They've not said how you're going to be able to get it, but it would likely be that with the next season coming up. So they said with season 2, they will introduce a way for you to get those skill variants, just so that everyone gets an opportunity to get those variants at some point. Then they wanted to talk about seasons. So the first thing they wanted to show here is kind of like the home screen, essentially. They wanted to show you how easy it is to actually access seasons. As you can see, it's very clear. It's been redacted right now, a big redacted sign across it. But when you go into it, there will be a part of it which you'll be able to see your level with the rewards track. The premium track will come with the pre-order of Warlords. So that's for everyone. So for the first season, if you've got Warlords, then you are going to get access to the premium track. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. The first 35 items will be new items. The first 35 levels will be new items, brands, weapons, etc. And this culminates all the way up to a new exotic. And for this, they want everyone to experience this for the first time, which is why they're making it free to everyone for the first season. They then want to clarify paid and not paid and what it means. So the season itself is available for everyone, whether you've got the expansion or not. What you pay with the premium pass is the premium track on the seasons, and this includes unique outfits, named weapon skins, full gear dice, and more. Except for season 1, the premium track will be free for everyone who's got Warlords. So for year 2, it won't be free, and it's going to be charged at €10. And each new season will require a new pass. But for the first season, the premium track is available for everyone, just so that you guys can experience what a premium track will entail. Just to confirm, nothing on the premium track will give you a power advantage. Anything unique on there will be vanity items. Then they went on to talk about new gear sets, and this was crazy, guys. So as you can see, as part of the premium rewards, you're going to get the Striker gear set remastered and system corruption as well. So let's look at the Striker one here. So you can see the Striker talents, 15% weapon handling for the 2-piece, 15% rate of fire for the 3-piece. Then the 4-piece is called Striker's Gamble. Weapon hits amplify total weapon damage by 0.5%, stacking up to 50 times. 1 stack is lost each second. 3 stacks are lost every time you miss. Chest piece talent called Press the Advantage. Increase max stacks for Striker's Gamble from 50 to 100. And the backpack talent called Risk Management decreases stacks lost on missed shots for Striker's Gamble from 3 to 2. So you get those additional kind of talents for the backpack and chest. And this kind of goes back to how Striker worked in the Division 1. This seems to be, sounds like it's going to be really, really cool. It's probably going to be something that I'm really looking forward to. Essentially, if you manage to hit all your shots and you're wearing 6 pieces, I believe you're going to I believe it's 5 pieces if you've got the backpack, or if you have the chest piece on. So if you have 5 pieces on, so the chest piece and 4 other pieces on top of that, then you're going to be able to get up to 50% weapon damage if you hit all your shots, basically. That's how it works. So that's Striker. It's coming back. It's going to be really cool. And then they talked about system corruption as well. This is a DZ exclusive. I've covered this in my other video as well, guys, but as you can see the talents on there. 15% armor on kill, 3-piece has 40% disrupt resistance and 40% pulse resistance, and the rest of it. I'm not as excited for system corruption as I am for Strikers, but it is a DZ exclusive, so yeah, that also looks very, very cool. They confirmed that Striker can be found anywhere in the world as a drop, and the outfit itself, the actual what you are wearing, is found on the premium track. And again, guys, remember for Season 1, this is going to be free for anyone purchasing Warlords. Obviously, after Season 1, if you do want certain gear sets like this, or certainly the vanity side of stuff, then yeah, that will come, I presume, on the premium track. Now, moving on to what you see when you first go into Seasons is this image. You can see what's going on and how many days are kind of left. You can see the rewards that are coming up next as well. And then they included a video of how Polarity Switch works, which is a new global event. It's the first global event as well. So I'll include that video here, guys, so you can check it out.
You do so here inside of the Seasons menu. You can do that if you're in any safe space. And now when you walk out, you're greeted by these enemies who are yellow or blue. And you'll notice that your arm is either yellow or blue, positive or negatively charged. You do extra damage based on how well you're playing, essentially, to same polarity enemies. And if you really want them to change polarity, you can go up and punch them in the face. That'll change the polarity of them and everyone else in their fire team. And so there's a lot of strategy. Your polarity changes every time you reload or every time you switch weapons. And by matching, you'll notice that he's got a 4 over his shoulder and he's about to have a 5. Yeah. That is a stacking buff for, hey, you're doing this correct. That damage buff is getting stronger for shooting those same color enemies.
Is there a cap for that?
I believe it caps at 5. I think 5 is as high as it go, but it's just 5's a lot. You're murdering these guys. I'm certain someone will frame by frame through this and see the exact percentages. However, if you get it wrong, you're essentially given exactly one mistake, is it wipes out all of your stacks. And then a short moment later, if you hit with a second bullet, you will receive a shock for having played wrong.
I think we see that coming up soon in the gameplay,
it's
actually.
Coming. So again, here you're yellow, so you want to shoot the yellow enemies, because if you shoot the blue, you're going to be punished. So as long as you shoot the yellow, you build up your stack. Here you switch to blue, because there's a blue coming. So up, you can kill the blue, build up your stack. But you always have to be aware of what color they have, what color you have. As long as you play it right, you're going to get that damage buff, which means you're actually going to be more powerful than in the normal game. But as soon as you do it wrong, like that, boom. So
very cool.
Don't do it wrong.
And it's really wild because this stacks really complexly with some of the directives, because one of the directives is ammo hoarders, and so you actually get a lot less ammo, and every time you reload, it dumps all of the ammo that was inside of your magazine, making this get very complicated very quickly unless you're being very, very aware. But directives are always opt-in. You can turn them on for just a mission or turn them on globally.
So you may have noticed that there's actually 2 XP bars. The orange one is the kind of shade progression, and then the green bar below it is your season progression. They confirm that seasons have 100 levels. Each level is about the same as what field proficiency caches currently take. So it'll take about the same kind of time. They then went on to talk about reanimated guardians, which I believe is another global event. And Yannick actually said, does that mean zombies? And they just said cough. Just wait and find out. So possibly zombies or something alike is coming at some point with the first season. They then included this image, and this is the Polarity Switch interface. There will be star values attached to each challenge, which gives you rewards, and you're going to need a certain amount of star values to get rewards, essentially. Every time you complete a challenge, you get a big chunk of XP as well for shade levels and towards seasons. Each global event has 10 rewards. You're going to get a free patch for joining the global event for everyone. And then, as you can see with the tier 9 reward, it actually gives you an exotic cache. For tier 10, you can see you get a big backpack trophy with new ones coming with each global event. Global events last 1 week. There's going to be 3 per season. And then we're moving on to leagues. And I want to insert this image here, guys, so you can see what I'm talking about. These are 2 weeks long, and these are skill challenges to players. The first one is Westside League, and is focused around outcasts and kind of ruining their day. You can see 4 time trials. There's one of them, Roosevelt Island, which is heroic. If you complete enough stages, you're going to get rewards, and there are unique rewards tied to these leagues. What you're going to see here as well is an insert of elites that you've killed. You can see that each stage, and there is a leaderboard as well that's attached to these, so you can kind of compare it to other people. And these leagues, they reset each week, but you will retain the stages that you've completed, so that if you don't manage to do it in the first week, you can then continue those stages into the second week. In total, there are going to be 60 stages, as you can see, 6 activities with 10 stages per activity. And this is very much curated towards the most hardcore PvE players, from what I can tell. Then you're going to see the rewards for the leagues as well. As you can see, the amount of stages required to get the rewards, and there's going to be unique rewards tied to this. We've got the exotic cache and the tier 10 as well reward, or the level 60 reward as well. All the league activities are marked on the map as well, so if you do want to go into a mission and it's got a league activity attached to it when leagues are available, then it will tell you that this is a mission for a league. They confirm that our parallel events are going to be coming back. These are 3 weeks long. It coincides with the season target for the second, I believe for the second week and the second league. The UI has been made better to show you exactly how many levels you need to get a key, for example. And it appears that the completion reward for the first apparel event is a toxic mask. There is going to be a lot to do, is what they talked about. But you don't have to do any of it if you don't want to. Projects have been simplified. Another thing mentioned is that when you look at the reward tracks, when a season starts, all the gear is added to the loot drops. You don't actually need to rank up your track to get this stuff. It will just drop in the world. The only thing that's unique to the track is the vanity stuff. They confirmed that seasons are end game level 40 only. You're going to need to have completed the campaign before completing seasons, and the narrative picks up from the main storyline. If I haven't confirmed already, because I can't remember, then the first season will come out 1 week after the expansion next week. They then asked a question from chat where people have been talking about us killing Kina at the end of the campaign, which is not true. We are going to be engaging with Kina and we are going to be defeating him, but what that actually means remains a mystery. They confirmed that towards the end of each season, likely in the last 3 weeks, they're going to put out the option to purchase the season levels if you want to with premium currency. This will be towards the end for those who join late and who don't have time to work through the seasons. And the reason they did this is because there was an issue before where people have complained about not being able to get so much due to joining late with global events in the Division 1. So this hopefully rectifies that. They didn't confirm the cost of this yet. They confirmed this is obviously not pay to win. The stuff on the track you can purchase is random, so you're not buying power, essentially. One change they confirmed is that faction caches are going to now show up on the minimap. They then showed the animated trailer, which I covered in yesterday's video, so if you want to go check that out, you can. They had a dev Q&A where they talked about crafting, and I think I need to confirm this with you guys. They asked what will happen to the bench with Warlords. Well, the stuff that you used for 500 items in the game currently, the guaranteed items, they're no longer going to do that because otherwise you just get god rolls and everything. They're going back to a range of power, so there's going to be a minimum and a maximum range when you craft stuff. If you purchase the last upgrade to your bench, or not purchase, but once you get to the last upgrade of your bench, this will raise the kind of minimum range. With Warlords, your crafting bench will be sent back to specialized quality, as you'll start seeing blue, greens and purples drop again, but this will automatically update as you get stronger. And then they talked about how exotics will work with Warlords. What they said is you don't want to throw them away, they're not useless, but you won't be able to kind of upgrade them to level 40 when Warlords drops through the crafting bench. They're going to still drop in the world though, and I have confirmed before that this is something they are going to offer later into the expansion. But that was it, guys. Sorry, I know I've rambled on a lot here. There was a lot to go through. Hopefully all of this makes sense. If you've got any questions, then please leave it down in the comments below. A lot here. I made a video recently talking about game modes and how there's no game modes coming with this update. Well, whilst I'm not silenced on that, there is clearly a lot going on here. So maybe, just maybe, we're all going to be so busy going through all of this stuff that we're not going to care about game modes. Who knows? Let's see. Until next one, guys. Epic out.